Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpol and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to another episode of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim Kung Fu Panda Van Stratton. With me is Rodney Newpol from his well-lit alley. On this gorgeous Friday morning, we're located in Central Illinois, but wherever you are listening, thanks for tuning in this fine morning. Rodney, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I got to ask, you heading out golfing today?
No, I did golf yesterday, though. I have my season pass, so I got a quick 9 holes in, had a 4:40 tee time. I love the social element of golf, but I really enjoy just going out there by myself and just having nothing but quiet, like nice weekday, not getting rushed, not waiting on people, because if it's just one person, I can just sort of play through. It's really nice. So, yeah, I did that last night. It wasn't the hat. Is that the giveaway?
Yeah, I thought maybe you were heading, but it's a Yankees hat. I see it's a Yankees hat. Okay. So
it is a Yankees hat, but it is a golf hat, too, and I actually did wear this particular one golfing yesterday. Yes.
You are all in with your New York Yankees.
Won 9-7 yesterday, avoided the sweep. It got sweaty, man. They were up 9-3, and then they gave up another grand slam. Their second grand slam that they've given up just this series. Arizona's good. They can hit, but Yankees held on, fortunately.
Yeah, no, Arizona is good. That National League West is something else, man. They are finding lots of ways to win early in the season. So congrats to your Yankees. 4-2? Same as my Cardinals, right? Yeah.
4-2. They now head on the road to face Pittsburgh. So yeah, they open up the season against Milwaukee, Arizona, and Pittsburgh. 3 straight National League opponents. It's a little weird, but they're at Pittsburgh and they avoid Skeens, which is all I can ask for.
Yeah, which is different than the Cardinals because the Cardinals are starting with 3 American League teams. They Twins, Angels. Now they're in Boston, and they go to Pittsburgh next, and they do not avoid Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens, I believe, will pitch on Tuesday. Cardinal Pirates. I think it's Tuesday. You never know with early season rotations, but I believe Skeens and Cardinals will be Tuesday.
Good luck. Yeah. I'm definitely afraid of Paul Skeens. So
they Cardinals beat them twice last year, but both were really low scoring. They had to pitch well to get there. So we'll see. But I do love seeing Paul Skeens. This will be a good opportunity to see him pitch. I'll watch Tuesday night's game and we'll see. Although it's my middle daughter's birthday, maybe not. But anyways, yeah. So
can you ask her to reschedule?
Reschedule birthday. Hold on one second. So Skeens pitched Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday.
Was it Wednesday?
Yeah. So he's going to go on Tuesday because they've already announced that some Mlodzinski will go on Monday. So Skeens will go on Tuesday. Anyways, good morning, everyone.
Yeah. Seven innings, no earned runs, 3 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts. ERA on the year is 1.46.
But he has yet to see that vaunted Cardinal lineup with Mason Wynn at the bottom of the order.
I'll tell you this. So like, I know we're saying vaunted, and granted, like, Twins not so good, Angels not so good, but like, you can't really control who you play. And they're hitting. Like, that offense has showed up every single game. What is it? They've scored at least 4 or 5 runs every single game so far.
Yeah, and 10 plus hits in each game as well. That's a great start. Brant Brown, the new hitting coach, early on here seems to have found something in this group, or the group has found something in Brant Brown early. Now, I'm not advocating that this is going to be one of the best offenses in baseball, but it certainly has shown improvements. And yes, 5-3, 5-1, 9-2 wins, and then 5-4, 9-7 losses and 12-5 wins. So yeah, and then Ivan Herrera 3 home runs on Wednesday. Finally, Mason Wynn and Wilson Contreras got their hits, and this offense has got 10 plus hits without Wilson Contreras hitting, and he's going to hit eventually. The jury's still out on Mason Wynn, but like Wilson Contreras, track record's there, he's going to hit. So yeah, it's been interesting. Now they go to Boston today for a 3-game series, a Friday afternoon game. Looking forward to some baseball this afternoon.
Brant Brown has a chance to be a permanent Cardinals legend. Like he's the one, correct me if I'm wrong, he's the one who, when he played for the Cubs, had the epic fly ball that he dropped.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that
So
was him.
so one of the more infamous Cubs flubs in history. And then he's a hitting coach. He's been an assistant coach the last few years, but if he could turn around that Cardinals offense and make them hit and actually help lead that team to the playoffs again.
Yeah, and he would save Oliver Marmol's job, because most people would agree Oliver really doesn't belong there for this season, especially after how the last two have gone. He's got another year here, and Brant Brown's going to be a big part of this. If they make it through this, then it'll be because of Brown. And the pitching's been pretty solid for the most part. Starting pitching's got them there. Bullpen, a little hiccups in those 2 extra inning losses, but other than that, it's been a good start.
Lifetime extension for Marmol incoming is what you're saying. So don't hit too well. Don't hit too well. The second that Mason Wynn turns around, though, then I think we're going to have some problems, because then you're going to talk about Marmol's number getting retired at that point.
2 quick shout outs this morning. Dan and Ron both joining in this morning. And so we appreciate you guys jumping in. And anyone else that's on, feel free to send a comment across. Use the comments on the top right. Ron says Cards have been more interesting to watch. Bullpen needs iron out, but good start. No, I agree with you. And I know, Tim, you're not the Cardinal guy here, so I don't want to make this a full Cardinals show, but we did start it. This is our fault. We started it with Cardinals talk. You're right, Ron. They've been more interesting to watch. They're getting on base. They're moving guys. The defense has been really sharp so far. I don't have a problem with the bullpen necessarily. The hiccups in the extra innings, that'll happen. Would like to see better bullpen pitching, but I don't have a major problem with it. Yeah, and then attendance, that's just going to get Tim fired up. The attendance, because he loves to talk Cardinal attendance. Everybody that's not a Cardinal fan loves to talk Cardinal attendance.
Oh, okay. Listen, it's not just a Cardinal thing. I know everyone has the paid attendance and all that nonsense. Like, I get it. But I don't know, just the whole concept of like best fans in baseball always showing up, always supporting the team. And like the last 3 years, like that stadium has been like so empty, but yet like it looks ridiculous when the best fans in baseball only bring 8,000 to a game. And then they announce the attendance. Oh, another 32,000 people at Busch Stadium. Like, you realize how ridiculous that looks, right? And it's like everyone else sees it except Cardinals fans. I don't know.
No, I think you see it.
That's all.
Oh, I see it. We see it.
I know. You see it. You see it. But a lot of other people don't see it. They just try to make excuses for it. But it's a bad look. And like even the other night, like the Angels series, they're like, 21,000 is the lowest in the history of Busch 3. Okay, but still, like, there's like 4,000 people there. Like it looks ridiculous. That's all.
I think in general, baseball is kind of running into an attendance issue here. Milwaukee had almost nobody at their game. Would have been Wednesday or Thursday. And again, not necessarily making excuses for the Cardinals. Just in general, I'm curious. And this kind of goes back to our conversation about starting the season too early as well. Like, Milwaukee's got indoors, so they don't necessarily have that excuse. But like, there's not 40,000 people regardless. Maybe Wrigley will show me wrong today, but I don't know how cold it's going to be this afternoon at Wrigley. But like, do 40,000 people want to sit outside in 37-degree weather for 3 hours of baseball? Like, I don't think so. Like, they'll do it in October because it's a playoff potential game. But like March, April, I'm just not so sure about that. So yes, Cardinals, that does look silly. Baseball in general, I think, has a little bit of an attendance issue going on.
Yeah, it's part of it's the cold. Part of it is when the team isn't good. Like Milwaukee, I don't know what their numbers were the first 2 days of that series, but like they couldn't have asked for a worse start as a franchise than their first 4 games of the season or so. So then you have a fan base who's not all that pumped. It's a Wednesday. I don't know if their Wednesday was a day game or not. I can't remember. But and then like it's also against the Royals as well. It's not a huge draw. It's not a Cubs series. It's not Yankees coming in, Dodgers, whoever. It's the Royals. So I don't know. But yeah, I think part of it's the weather. I think part of it is just like just people aren't quite in baseball mode yet, which both of those, like you said, go back to the whole argument that we're trying to make that it's April 4th. We've had baseball now for over a week. It's still it is 40 degrees right now in Central Illinois. It's not quite baseball yet.
Yeah.
Not quite. And I think a lot of people feel that way.
So Milwaukee announced 19,000 at their Wednesday afternoon game against Kansas City, and then 20,000 yesterday against Cincinnati. And that barn burner 1-0, where the Reds have now lost 3 straight games 1-0. Your
That's
Cincinnati
amazing.
Reds, by the
Yeah.
way, your Cincinnati have not scored since what, Monday?
How about, well, if you think that's bad, how about my Atlanta Braves, who are 0-7, who I picked to go to the World Series?
That's also true. It sounds familiar with the Cincinnati Bengals pick of heading to the Super Bowl starting so poorly. And so you'll see a run from Cincinnati here, but it'll be just a little bit too late once they get moving. That's kind of what you're doing here. But I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and the fact that the Reds, before losing 3 straight games 1-0, beat the Rangers 14-3.
Yeah.
So scored 14 runs on Monday, and then they're like, you know what, we're good for the week. I think we can put the bats away.
As my very just be around sports mother always says, she wouldn't say she's a massive sports fan. She follows sports because her sons do and her husband does, but anytime the Cardinals score, let's say 14 runs, she'll get to the point where she'll be like, you need to save some of these for tomorrow. You don't need all of these at once. Why are you only? Why
it's
are you
such a good line, though. I'll say that. I'll say that too. So in her defense, like that's such a good point, though.
No, it is. Like you only need 4 to win this one. You don't need 14. You could use those other 10 later in the week. And I'm kind of with her. Like anytime the Cardinals score like 15, it's like 15-1. It's like, okay, that's probably enough. Like, they're going to get shut out the next 2 nights. Yeah, it's just how baseball works. But yeah, Cincinnati 3 straight 1-0 games. They do have the Brewers today. It's Nick Martinez, and the Brewers have not announced a starter. April 4th, your National League Central favorites do not have a starter for game number 8. That's where we're at with the Brewers. Not such a great start, although they've won 3 in a row now.
So I'm looking at attendance numbers right now. So based on average attendance, the Cardinals have averaged in 6 home games just under 28,000 fans, which currently puts them 11th right now. So that's more than Baltimore, Kansas City, Seattle, Toronto, Milwaukee, Cincinnati, and then the obvious ones: White Sox, Marlins, A's, Rays, just because the last 2 play at minor league parks. Yeah. I've not seen enough of what's happening in Baltimore and Kansas City, but like Baltimore is really less than St. Louis. Like if we looked at each of the games, like at Camden Yards and then at Busch, do you think Busch is going to have more? Maybe just because of that opening day series, but
yeah. Well, I mean, Baltimore hasn't really gotten off to a great start either. I actually don't even know their record, but I can't say that they've been terrific to start the season. Yeah, they're 3-4. So but there is some buzz there. They have young players like. A lot of people would like to go see Jackson Holiday, would like to see, Gunnar Henderson's out right now, but Adley Rutschman. So, yeah, I don't know. I think baseball's got an attendance problem. And then one more thing on baseball real quick. I know we're kind of flip-flopping here. We were going to start with the Final Four, but we've gotten to baseball. The American League Central. Yeah. Chicago White Sox, Cleveland Guardians, Detroit Tigers, Kansas City Royals, all tied in first place at 2-4. Twins, with their loss yesterday, have moved to last place at 2-5. Let me ask you on the spot right now, April 4th. Will the American League Central winner finish above 500?
Yes, but it won't be convincing. It'll be like 88 wins. I think if you get to 88 wins, you win the division.
So I am not so sure they will finish above 500 with the more balanced schedule now. I used to think, yes, one of them will, because you're beating up on some other bad teams. You know, the top team will take down the White Sox more than not. But like, I don't know, with not playing as many division games, like I see all 5 of those teams not being all that good. Although we were pretty high on Kansas City, and I still think maybe Kansas City is the cream of the division, the cream of the crop there. But man, I'm not so sure they will finish. I'll go on record and say today, American League Central, the divisional winner, does not finish 500.
That's a take, and I love that you made that take. So stand by it. We'll check in on it periodically. All loser central. That's good.
Yeah, AL Central. No, that's good. Thanks, Dan. That's a good one.
Not only do the Chicago White Sox have the only positive run differential in the AL Central at +4. So let's give you a moment to reflect on that. But the White Sox have the 3rd best run differential in the entire American League.
Okay, so what is that telling us, that the American League?
I have no idea. I have no idea what it's telling us. So the Yankees are runaway favorites thanks to that Milwaukee series at +21. They've scored 53 runs already this season in 6 games. Then you have Tampa Bay, who's at +12. Then the White Sox are +4. And then after that, you have the Red Sox and Orioles, who are each at +2. Toronto's at +1. So everyone in the AL Central, it's the opposite. Or in the AL East, excuse me. Everyone in the AL East is positive. And then after Toronto, the rest of the AL Central, the entire AL West are all negative.
Yeah, and then you got on the other side, the Padres at +25, the Dodgers +22, Cardinals +17. So, I mean, it's like the National League maybe is winning more blowouts right now, and I don't know. I don't know if that affects anything right now. But it's interesting to see. Phillies +16.
The only teams getting absolutely clobbered right now in the NL are Milwaukee and Atlanta. Like that's it. And then maybe Colorado too, to a degree, but like Colorado just hasn't scored runs. They scored 11 runs so far this year in 6 games, which is just heinous.
And Milwaukee, I mean, Milwaukee's -25. Big difference was that Yankees game. What did the Yankees score 20 runs in that game?
That's what I said, 20 and then 12 the next day. So 32 runs scored against them in 2 days.
Yeah, and so then 17 in the other 5. Yeah, and that's going to be more Milwaukee once they get their guys back. It's going to be more like 3, 4, 5 runs a game given up. Not going to be 15 runs given up on average. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see that early in the year. Cincinnati and Milwaukee both have only scored 24 runs. Pittsburgh has only scored 19. So the bottom of the National League Central is not hitting very well right now.
Cubs have scored 60 so far in 9 games, which is still that's very good.
Yeah, and 3 of those in Sacramento.
Yeah, that's all right. So I know we were kind of talking about this a little bit on Tuesday in terms of like how these games are going to look in Sacramento, because Monday it was so this Sacramento series. So it was 18-3 in the debut on Monday. Tuesday, while we were on the air, that game finished 7-4. So another 11 runs in that ballpark. Wednesday, it was 10-2. That's 12 runs in that ballpark. So that's is this going to be a thing? Is this going to be a thing? So I mean, the Cubs lineup apparently looks really good. We won't know for a little bit now, because the Sacramento now goes to Colorado as the Rockies finally get to play some home games, and we'll see the Coors Field effect in action maybe for the first time. But yeah, I'm very curious if this is going to be an issue. And I mean, like, it's not just like a 1-year thing. They're going to be at this ballpark in theory for at least the next 3 years. I don't even know if they started breaking ground yet in Vegas on this stadium.
Yeah. So then next week, San Diego and the Mets come into Sacramento. San Diego's obviously a team that's going to slug. You would think, if the Mets haven't gotten quite right, that they could find a way to get right offensively in Sacramento. Although the Mets came away with a big extra inning win yesterday. But yeah, it's 2 teams that can slug are coming into Sacramento. So yeah, something to keep an eye out on. And then on the other side of that, I was looking at totals today. Cubs and what is it, Padres today? Cubs Padres today. It's a 120 start. It's 6.5. That's low. That's a low total. But I'm also wondering if maybe the weather is an issue there, if wind's blowing in. It looks like just 8 mile an hour, but 6.5 is real low, especially when you got Shota against Randy Vasquez. I would
What are we missing there?
exactly. That's kind of my thought too. Shota's been good. He's 1-0, 11 innings, 0.82 ERA. But at Wrigley, a slugging Padres team, Randy Vasquez, who I mean, he went 6 scoreless in his first, but like, I would think pound the over, but
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
so Kevin Roth, who people who play daily fantasy baseball know who Kevin Roth is. He's like the weather guru. So he's got his initial weather reports up for some of the games today. So he does like the color system, right? So he'll have green where it's like, yeah, don't worry about it, it'll be good. He has yellow where it's like, oh, this is not great, and then orange is pushing like uh delays and all that stuff. And does seem to be some pretty nasty weather in a couple places. He has a yellow for the Cubs game. This is his write-up. He says terrible baseball weather, temperature in the 40s, winds at 10 to 15 miles per hour blowing in from center field, and increasing rain showers throughout the game. I think they just play ball in the cold and damp conditions, but it's not ideal. Great pitching weather though.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, and yes, I would be looking at that before I made this bet. But 6.5 runs isn't very many. Can't you fall into a 4-3 game even in the cold? I don't know. I would definitely not bet the under, but if anything, I'm betting the over in that one.
What's funny to me too is that we always look at cold weather and bad weather for baseball, and we're like, oh man, this is really going to affect hitters. But yet, for some reason, we never think, how's this going to affect pitchers who got to be up there, who got to like stay focused, who got to get their grips on the baseball right. Like, I like, can it in theory affect pitchers too? You would think.
Yeah, you would think. But if they did get going, it would be hard to get them out of that groove because it is hard to hit with, cold hands and all that. But good luck at Wrigley today. We'll see if they bring 45,000 to Wrigley. And I'm sure they'll announce it just like St. Louis, but they won't fill all those seats. There's no way.
Their home opener, right?
It is. And it's a long time coming. I mean, shoot, they started their season 3 weeks ago.
They've played games in Japan, in California, in Arizona before they step foot in Chicago, which is fun.
All right, I want to move to something real quick. So let's stick on baseball here real quick. I want to do this. I want to hear your thoughts here. I want to do today, and you just found out about this about 2 minutes before the show started. Yeah. I want to hear your ultimate 2025 starting lineup. So what we'll do is we'll go position by position and tell me the guy you're starting, and then you could put them in a batting order from there. So
all right, I got to write this down because I will forget. All right.
Yeah. So we're going to go. So you can go National League, American League, any league you want. Catcher, first base, second base, shortstop, third base, left field, center field, right field, DH, starting pitcher, closer. So basically 12 guys. You're just taking one spot at only one player. And then once we've got those guys, we can put them in a batting order. But I want to hear who your top players are. I have a pretty good idea, obviously, at most spots, but I want to hear today. So that's what we're going to do now. Your ultimate 25 starting lineup, Major League Baseball.
All right, so give me the position. Give me the position. I'll tell you my first thought, because again, you're right. This was sprung on me. I did not have time to plug in the old computer to look up all the analytics. I normally would have to rely on VORP, on BABIP, on WOBA, all those things. Barrel rate. I have no idea about barrel rate, Rod. Do you expect me to do a lineup without knowing barrel rate? Come on, man. But I will do it for the fans, for the listeners. All right, so give me a position. I'll tell you a name.
Let's just start behind the plate. Your catcher, your catcher for the 2025 ultimate starting lineup.
I will go. So it's between two guys for me. It's between Adley Rutschman and it's William Contreras. I'd like to platoon them. I'd like to have both of them, but since I could only take one, I'll give the Brewers some love and I'll take Contreras behind the dish.
Okay, I think I would probably go with Adley, but I could see myself with William.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move over to first base. First base, your number one first baseman.
So this is tough. So like this is where I'm at, and this is only for 1 year, right?
It's only for the 2025 season.
So I'll tell you my thought process. I think ultimately the best player you want to have long term is Vlad Jr. However, there's something about just Freddie Freeman where I know he's going to be consistent and just deliver like year after, like just whenever I need him in a big spot. So I think just and plus like to get another lefty in there, I'm gonna put Freddie Freeman at first base.
Okay, I will probably go Vlad here though. Then and I don't want to go opposite of you. I will probably slug a little bit. I feel like maybe I'll stay more healthy. I don't know. Can I say that about Vlad? I don't know. Like Vlad.
Maybe you can. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like I think Vlad's a better player, but I don't know. There's something about Freddie Freeman where if I need him in a big spot, I like the odds there. And plus, we're leaving off Bryce Harper here as well, which is tough.
Yeah, I'm going to go Bryce Harper. Good idea. I still struggle to see him as a first baseman for some reason. Same. I know he's playing first base, but he's my MVP. I'm going Bryce Harper.
Right.
I will go Bryce
second
Harper.
Base.
Second base. All right, go. Give me your thoughts on second base.
I think Ketel Marte from Arizona. Unless there's someone else that I'm missing that's glaringly obvious. I mean, Altuve's old and doesn't play second base really anymore. I'm just trying to think around the league some options. This isn't 2009, so I can't really say Robinson Cano, nor can I say Dustin Pedroia, which you're still like the second baseman. Chase Utley, those are still some of the guys that come to mind for me of elite second baseman. But I think Ketel Marte is my pick there.
Yeah, no, I think Marte is a good choice. I like Arizona. I will go ride with you on Marte here. Probably will find him once I put my lineup together more at like the 9 spot. Because I think I'm going to have plenty of on base and then power in the middle, but a really good 9 spot if I do put him there. But yeah, I'll go Marte at second base. All right, shortstop.
All right. Shortstop. Oh, shortstop's fun. Bobby Witt.
yeah, same.
He's good. He's good. Good player.
And if we had to go opposite, if we were like drafting, I think I'm probably going Ellie number 2.
Yeah, just for that speed threat too. But Bobby can also run. Like,
yeah, no. What I'm saying is, if you take Witt and I've got to take somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if this is if we're drafting here, I would probably go Ellie at number 2. Would Ellie be your number 2 here, or is there another shortstop that you would consider?
I'd consider Gunnar Henderson too.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. He's hurt right now though, but yeah, Gunnar, Ellie, probably my like 2A, 2B. But Bobby Witt, I think, has cemented himself as the best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah, no, and he's my AL MVP, so I will go there as well. All right, third base, and you can't say Nolan Arenado.
I wasn't going to, so good call there. So it's kind of funny. Third base now, it's not as deep, I think, as it was maybe a couple years ago. But I think the obvious one's J-Ram, Jose Ramirez. He's a little bit older there, but he's just so consistent. He does everything, and I know what I'm going to get, and you need sort of that stability in your lineup. So, I mean, other ones. So Devers doesn't play third base anymore, and he's also doesn't even have a hit yet. I don't know. There's Alex Bregman. There's Machado. There's Austin Riley. There's Arenado. There's Matt Chapman. So yeah, I think J-Ram is I would say J-Ram is the obvious pick there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little off the board here, and I'm gonna take Manny. I do like J-Ram, and I think he's probably a better player. But I don't know, for some reason the Padres kind of have this swag going on that I want to get a piece of. And if I'm not gonna get Tatis, which maybe I still could, then I'm gonna take Manny. So I'm gonna go Manny here. 275 hitter last year, 29 home runs, 105 RBIs. I mean, that's not a bad season for old Manny Ramirez. Manny Machado. I'll take Manny. He's hitting 400 to start this year. He has not hit a home run, but I'll take Manny Machado at third for me. All right, let's move to the corner outfield. Let's go left field first. Your 2025 left fielder.
Who's even playing left field these days?
Well, one that comes to mind is O'Neal Cruz, or is he playing center? He's playing
He's
center.
playing center. He's
Yeah.
playing center. Is so all right. I can't say like Yordan Alvarez because like Yordan Alvarez is really primarily a DH. There's who like left field has to be the weakest position in baseball right now, right? Like, is it Jaron Duran, the Red Sox, Riley Green, the Tigers? What about Jackson Churio? Is he playing left field for the Brewers or is he playing center field for them?
Might be. I think he is playing left. Is Jordan's considered left, isn't he?
Is he? Has he played any left field this this year?
Tyler O'Neill's playing some left field.
I can't take Tyler O'Neill though. Let's see if Yordan. Yeah, okay. So Yordan did play a game in left field this year, but he's been so all right. He does play left field. You know what? I'm going to say Yordan Alvarez, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna risk it defensively, and take Yordan there just because the offensively he's just so far and away above everyone else. Like who am I going to take? Steven Kwan and put him in left field? Like no, not on this team. So I'm going to go Alvarez.
Thanks, Ron, for joining in. Ron's got to go back to work. Thanks for listening here. I guess people have to work.
He's like, all right, screw this. I'd much rather work than listen to this nonsense. All right, yeah, Yordan Alvarez is my guy there. Just best player.
All right, center field.
All right, you got to help me out here with some names. Who am I missing? Who are the center fielders?
Honestly, why not Jackson Merrill?
Jackson Merrill. That's a really good one. Yeah. Judge isn't a center fielder anymore. Yeah, Merrill. I'm just sort of like going through in my head who some of the top options would be. Yeah, no one on the Rangers. Julio Rodriguez, but I feel like Julio Rodriguez, if we did this 2 years ago, I would have said Julio Rodriguez. Michael Harris.
O'Neal Cruz is off to a real good start for
O'Neal
the Pirates.
Cruz. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
Yeah. Other than that, you can't.
I think that's the pick, man. I think you got it. I think it's Jackson Merrill.
Yeah,
that's a really good. That's a really good pick, and the newly paid Jackson Merrill, I might add.
Yeah, and so then that's going to be my second Padre, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with the second Padre. Okay, right field. I think we're probably going to go in the same boat here. Right field and DH. I think we're probably gonna.
I already wrote them down. I already wrote the next three down. I have right field, DH, and starting pitcher already written down. They're that obvious to me.
Yeah, so we're both going Aaron Judge at right field.
Yes.
We're both going Shohei Ohtani at DH.
Yes.
And then who's your starting pitcher?
I'm going with Paul Skeens. It's Skeens. It's always going to be Skeens. Like nasty. Just the nastiest starting pitcher out there right now. It's Paul Skeens.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We can't get cute. We can't get cute with it. Who would you rather have on the mound for you right now today?
Yeah, you're probably right. I would love to say like Scooble, but you're right. It's Paul Skeens. I got to go with Skeens as well. I really wanted to get off Skeens on this one, but I can't. So I'll go Paul Skeens. Yeah. We have a few similarities, a few differences, and then we need a closer. We need a closer for this team. Knock down, shut them down at the end of the game, closer. And who's your first thought on closer?
So my best thought was Emmanuel Clase from Cleveland, who I know was the best last year. I don't know if he's still the best this year, though. So some other guys that are worth considering. You have Devin Williams, the new Yankees closer. You have Mason Miller of the A's. You have your St. Louis Cardinals closer, Ryan Helsley. There's Josh Hader. There's Edwin Diaz. I'll say Clase. However, I want an elite setup guy behind him. Actually, what I'm going to do? You're going to love this. So I'm going to take Clase as my closer. However, can I add an eighth inning guy as well?
Yeah, sure.
My eighth inning guy, who has been one of the most slept on pitchers in all of baseball, going back to like last September, former St. Louis Cardinal Luke Weaver has been an exceptional late inning reliever for the Yankees. He came in yesterday for the 4-out save with Devin Williams on the paternity list. They show the stat like Luke Weaver since like September 2nd of last year, his ERA is barely above 1. He has just been absolutely lights out. So I want Weaver as my eighth inning guy.
Okay, so it's time to put a line. It's time to put our batting order together. So your team: Adley Rutschman, Freddie Freeman, Marte, Witt, Ramirez, Jordan Alvarez, Merrill, Judge, Ohtani. Your starting pitcher Skeens, your closers Clase, and you're going Weaver as your eighth inning guy.
William Contreras is my catcher over Adley Rutschman. Yeah. So, all right, this is how we're going to do this. So, leading off is going to be Shohei Ohtani.
Okay.
Done it before. Start off the game. I mean, the Dodgers did it all last year. He ended up having a 50-50 season. I kind of like where I'm at with that. So, Ohtani's going to be my number 1. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be my number 3. Aaron Judge is going to be my number 4. Then we're going to have Jordan Alvarez as my cleanup hitter. Following him will be Jose Ramirez as my number 5. Then we're going to have Freddie Freeman, number 6. Then we're going to have Jackson Merrill hitting 7th. We're going to have William Contreras hitting 8th. And then finally, to wrap things up, in the 9th spot will be Ketel Marte. Yeah. That is balanced. There is consistency. There's a nice mix of right versus left. And then we're going to have Skeens go 7 innings, 13 Ks or so. Luke Weaver will come in for a 1-2-3-8, and then Clase blows the doors down in the 9th inning. That team will win 140 games minimum.
So I will lead off Bobby Witt. I will bat Bryce Harper 2. Aaron Judge is going to be 3. Shohei Ohtani is going to be 4. I don't know. I'm more of a traditional. Give me that slug. Give me that power guy at the 4 spot. I don't know. Ohtani can bat anywhere. I'm acceptable with Ohtani anywhere 1 through 4. Can't bat below 4. 5, I'll go Jordan Alvarez. 6, I'm going to go Manny Machado. 7, I will take Adley Rutschman. 8, Jackson Merrill. And 9 is Ketel Marte. I will have Paul Skeens on the mound, and he'll probably go 8 for me. And then I didn't even mention I'm taking Ryan Helsley as my closer. I've got to
you're such a homer.
Yeah, but Ryan Helsley's pretty good.
He is. No, he is good. And I can't I can't sit here and call you a homer when I forced you to add Luke Weaver to my starting lineup. So
anyways, there's our ultimate 2025 MLB starting lineup. We did this with NBA not too long ago. I think we did one in the NBA during the NBA season. So I figured it was time for the MLB one. Later in the year, we'll put together like our, I don't know. I'm thinking we should do like all 2020 team. So basically from 2020 to now. But anyway, we can do that later on. Let's move to quickly the Final Four because it is this weekend. I don't know. Again, we said this Tuesday. I don't know as if any of us either of us really care all that much. Although I'm heavily invested in Houston. I saw a stat. My son actually told me this stat. He follows the TikToks and all that he gave me this. Every player on the Houston Cougars roster runs an under 550 mile time. And maybe that's the case with all college basketball programs, but I doubt it. Their average mile time was like 528, which is incredible to me. 528 is incredible. I guess my point is here is, and I know all these college basketball players are in shape, but the amount of dedication and work that these dudes have put in, I'm all in with the Houston Cougars. They are my national champion. They win Saturday, they win Monday. I come on here and I gloat about my Cougars winning the title. Your final four thoughts before we get to Saturday's game.
Yeah, I looked it up. So the Houston Cougars basketball team did summer workouts on the track, and the average mile time was 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
That's incredible. Average.
But then the tweet that showed the video, they're like, that may not seem fast, but these are big men in an explosive sport. I was like, how does 5 minutes and 19 seconds not seem fast? What are the expectations then?
Yeah, that's incredible. That is incredible. 5:19 average. Those dudes were getting after it. And I know you could probably say something similar for Duke. I'm going to guess it's not quite 5:19 because 5:19 just seems incredibly fast.
That's the average mile time for the team.
Yeah, the average. So you got like 12 dudes, and they're averaging at 5:19. Yeah. So you're going with Duke and Florida again?
Auburn. Duke Auburn.
Auburn, yes.
Yep. Florida got pushed to the brink against Texas Tech. They will not be so lucky against Auburn. Auburn is looking at every part the potential championship winner that I thought that they would be. So I'm still rolling with them. And then I know you're going to be heavy on Houston. I think Duke is just a very they've just looked overwhelming this tournament. And I mean, Houston's very good. Their defense is exceptional. I'm very excited to see that game. We were looking at the over-under on Tuesday. The Houston Duke over-under is about 20 points less than what Vegas has for the Auburn Florida game. So it's really going to come down to like making possessions matter, limiting turnovers, and that could play in the advantage of Houston. It could, but I'm just going to go with the talent of Duke, and pick them. And yeah, I also picked them at the beginning of the tournament. I know that doesn't really matter so much at this point anymore, but yeah, I'm going to stick with Duke Auburn as my final, which would be what, Monday?
Yeah, Monday night. I think they moved the national championship time up this year, if I remember. Maybe that was just college football. But yes, it used to be at like 8:19 or something. I'd have to look when the official time is. But yeah, so 5:09 Central Time Saturday is Florida Auburn, 7:49, which isn't a terrible time for Houston Duke. At least it's not. Some of those tournament games were starting in the 9s the first weekend. I like the 7:49. We're done by 10. It's a Saturday night, so it didn't matter. But the Monday night, if you can find an official start time on that, that would be great. I'm hoping it's in the 7s because those 8 o'clock starts just kill me. But Final Four is this weekend. You're going Duke and Auburn. I'm going Houston and Auburn.
Yeah, I don't know how people on the East Coast can watch sports that start this late. That regularly start it after 9 p.m., 10 p.m. It's awful.
Awful. Yeah. I
have 7:50 Central start time for Monday.
Acceptable. I mean, still think it could be more like 7:20, but acceptable. I'm looking at like Major League Baseball, the Guardians, who are an East Coast team. They're in Eastern time zone. They are going to start at 9:39 tonight against your former Los Angeles Angels. But yeah, like NBA games, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers and you're playing at the Lakers, you're starting at 10:30 many times. Just not okay. Not okay. I'm not an East Coast sports fan. That's why I'm going to Vegas. You're out in California. You get out to California. Sports watching,
The best. It's incredible. It is. I will not have any other argument. When people are like, "Oh, it's so much better to watch sports and such," like, no, man. Pacific time zone sports viewing is elite.
Yeah.
Like Hawaii is also great, but Hawaii, I think it's too early. It's too early because it's like you have like a Laker game out there that'll start at 4 p.m. on a weekday. And I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this.
Yeah. Too early.
Dan
Dan says, can confirm Eastern start times suck when the Wild play the Sharks in San Jose. It's 10:38 start time. Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
remember
not
like
that's not
when I would go back east. This is when I was a kid, and people were still reading newspapers, and my grandparents, they would have the newspaper the next day, and I would go in the sports section, and a lot of the games didn't have
yeah,
scores with them when you would see the scoreboard because it was too late. Like all the West
too
Coast
late.
games, they just wouldn't have scores in them. It was like
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, crazy. While Dan's here, let's move to hockey talk real quick. I want to get real.
Whoa.
Will the St. Louis Blues ever lose again? They've won 11 straight.
No.
They won in overtime last night against Pittsburgh. That was the last team that beat them. They are now 2 points ahead of Dan's Wild with 5 to go. Wild have 6 to go. Flames are 7 points back of the Blues and 5 points back of the Wild. Are we comfortable with locking in the Blues and the Wild to head to the playoffs? Or can Calgary and or Vancouver still make a run? I think we can consider Utah dead at 80 points. They are 9 points back of the Wild with 6 to go. I think they can be considered dead. But do we have to give any thought to Calgary or Vancouver sneaking in as one of those final 2 wild card spots? Your thoughts and Dan's thoughts in the comments.
If Utah is dead, then Vancouver's also dead. They're separated by a point.
Yeah, Vancouver's got 1 extra game though, so
yeah.
I'm giving them the benefit of that doubt. But I think Vancouver. I do think Vancouver's dead. See you, Vancouver.
Yeah.
So do we have to worry
Coos.
about the Calgary Flames in their final 7 games catching 5 points on the Wild or 7 points on the Blues?
You do not. Congratulations, Blues and Wild. You're in the playoffs. That's 5 teams from the Central. Well done. It's over. No, it's over. It's over.
The Flames still get the Sharks twice, the Ducks, and the Wild. So, and the Golden Knights are sandwiched in between there. So that game on April 11th against the Wild, Minnesota fans are hoping that doesn't matter, but it could matter.
It's over. Congratulations.
Wild are about to get Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek back in the lineup. They make it as wild card 2 and Blues as wild card 1, which would send the Blues to Vegas or LA. LA is only three points back of Vegas, and would send Minnesota to Winnipeg or Dallas. Dallas is only 4 points back of the Jets. So
how bad are the Kings hoping to win that division just so they can avoid the inevitable first round loss against Edmonton again for like the 5th straight year?
I mean, in Edmonton's only 5 points back of Vegas. So you've got 3 teams there in the Pacific that are, I mean, that's still, and they've all have 7 games. So it's still somewhat alive there. Central Dallas really, is 4 points back, but have played 1 less game. I think Colorado is pretty much out of the talk for winning the division. But I mean, they're both divisional champions. So nobody really knows where they're going yet at all in the playoffs. I'll agree with you. At 11 straight wins, the Blues should be getting in at this point. A little concerned about their remaining schedule. They've got the Avs, the Jets, and the Oilers coming up the next 3. Don't love those matchups. Wild, as Dan puts here, have the Islanders tonight, Dallas, San Jose, Calgary, Vancouver, and Anaheim. Not that difficult of a stretch for Minnesota. So Blues Wild.
Dallas. So Dallas is tough. At Calgary, if Calgary is within sniffing distance of the playoffs, that could be interesting. Obviously, that Ducks one is going to be huge. The Ducks looking to play spoiler as well. I've seen easier schedules. I'm getting a look at the standings right here, man. Is there any threat to Winnipeg leading the Central? Because Dallas is only 4 points back, but they've also played 1 fewer game.
I think so. I think Dallas could make that run. Dallas has won 7 straight. They have the Penguins, the Canucks, Utah, Detroit, and Nashville still on their schedule. So, yes, I definitely do think Dallas could win that division, which would put Minnesota or St. Louis to Dallas as opposed to Winnipeg. And then you move to the East, and we mentioned it a couple weeks ago. Ottawa and Montreal are your wild card teams right now, which means the Rangers are left out as of right now.
So imagine someone telling this to you or Hockey Guy Dan or anyone that on April 4th, the Senators and Canadiens would have playoff spots. The Rangers would be out of the playoffs, and the Bruins would have the worst record in the Eastern Conference.
Right? No, it's wild.
So why did the Bruins fire their coach again?
I don't know, but he's worked out well the last 11 games for St. Louis. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bruins, Bruins have
what
now lost 10 straight games. They've lost 10 in a row.
Insane.
Looking at that 10 in a row, their last 7. Okay, so here's their losses. They lost 6-3, but then their offense went away. 6-2, 3-2, 5-1, 3-1, 7-2, 6-2, 2-1, 4-3, 4-1. They can't score goals. The Boston Bruins cannot score goals. They obviously are eliminated from playoffs, and they are a point behind Buffalo, as you mentioned, for the last worst record in all of the East, and at 69 points, only ahead of the Predators, the Blackhawks, and the Sharks.
Yeah, 4th best lottery odds right now.
One more discussion. I believe weeks ago we had the discussion who would finish the worst. It's a 2-point race right now. Blackhawks with 52 points, Sharks with 50. Coming down to the end for the worst record. The Blackhawks once again getting the top pick.
It's likely.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at our buddy Connor Bedard here real quick. 75
I just assume
games.
they're always going to get it.
20 goals, 39 assists for the generational Connor Bedard. 20 goals this year.
What's his plus minus?
Connor Bedard plus minus is -38.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he was negative 40 something last year. So yeah, he's right on track for it again. That's good.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our National Hockey League talk. I want to spend 2 minutes here talking about your Los Angeles Lakers. Luka looked tired last night. Luka looked a little worn down. I know you were not able to see the game last night. Luka did not shoot the ball real well. The Warriors beat him 123-116. Luka was 6 for 17. So let me ask you this. Do you consider sitting Luka for a little bit to get him healthy for the playoff run? The Lakers are going to make the playoffs. They're 46-30. They're in the 4 seed. They're only a game ahead of 5th. They're a game ahead of 6th and 7th. Do you consider and threaten your chances of falling into the play-in, or do you just let him ride and play these last 6-7 games?
No, I don't know if I sit him. I wish I would have watched the game last night because, like looking at how Redick distributed the minutes, like Luka got 38 minutes. LeBron, Luka, Reeves were all 38 to 40 minutes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and really Dorian Finney-Smith is the only one off the bench who got significant time. That's pretty normal because Jackson Hayes starts, but he's not in there for their closing lineup. It's usually Finney-Smith. But like Dalton Knecht didn't play, Shake Milton didn't play, Markieff Morris didn't play. So like they're really just limiting the bench. So maybe Luka, instead of 38 minutes, he gets 31 minutes. And you open up the bench a little bit more. You give some more opportunities to Jordan Goodwin, who's been a real pleasant surprise for them. Maybe Gabe Vincent comes in for some more time. Jared Vanderbilt only got 13 minutes. So I think there are ways for them to open up the bench just a little bit more without outright sitting Luka. I don't want to sit Luka. I don't think Luka wants to sit either. And I don't want him to sort of get out of the swing of things. And then by the time the playoffs roll around, he's like, oh, well, I got to get back into game mode here. He's got to stay in game mode.
You got to be a little careful if you're the Lakers. You got the Pelicans coming up, should be a win, but you got back-to-back games at Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
Dallas, you probably should win in Dallas, but then you got the Rockets in Portland at 3-3 finishing these last 6 games. I mean, if one of the two or two of them, Memphis and Minnesota, get hot, you still could fall into the play-in round. At 3-3, you finished with 49 wins. I don't know. I guess I'm looking at your Lakers at not necessarily a lock for not falling into a play-in game.
Yeah, it really hurts that Golden State has went on such a huge run. Now, that said, they're still the 4 seed right now. They have a game and a half up on Memphis. I don't know what Memphis's upcoming schedule is. I don't know what Golden State's schedule is. I don't know what Minnesota is. I know the Clippers have played some really good basketball, but they're still sitting in the 8th seed right now. So I think if they're 3-3, let's say that they end these final 6 games, I think that still keeps them probably within the top 5. That's the hope. It's the hope. But yeah, it's the West is close, man. Like two games up on the 8th seed.
Yeah. Minnesota has a very favorable schedule at Philadelphia, at Milwaukee, not favorable, but then the Grizzlies, the Nets, and the Jazz for Minnesota. So there's a chance at winning.
Well, Grizzlies a tough one.
Yeah. And then Memphis' schedule. Let me go to that one real quick. Memphis is at Detroit, at Charlotte, with Minnesota, at Denver, with the Mavericks. So not an easy schedule for them as well. But
it's not easy.
Anyways, we're coming close to playoff time, both NBA and NHL. We'll break those down as the shows go next week.
And congratulations, by the way, to the Chicago Bulls for achieving their season goal of clinching a play-in spot. So well done.
Yes, good work. I was gonna take a minute on talking about the Masters. If you had to bet in the next 30 seconds, who are you betting?
I let's push it to Tuesday. I've not looked at the odds yet. I want to give you an informed view of the Masters. I feel like we'll talk a lot more about it on Tuesday. So that's your teaser.
Oh yeah, we're putting our lineup together.
Yeah, we are. Plus, I got to get my 55s in order.
Scotty Scheffler's favorite at plus 460. Rory is next at 650, and then it drops to Morikawa at 15-1. So a big drop there between second and third. All right, as we finish up the show, our Stupid Show Madness voting will start as soon as the show is over today for your 2 Final Four games. And as I mentioned before, it is a lot of UCLA. 3 of the 4 teams remaining are UCLA Bruins, which isn't a major surprise with how good they are. But your matchups are the 1972 UCLA Bruins against the 2024 UConn Huskies. Recency bias, maybe. And then the other matchup is 1967 UCLA against the 1973 UCLA Bruins. So we will get at least one UCLA team in the finals. We'll see if both get in. Voting will start as soon as the show's over and run until midnight Saturday night. And then you can vote for championship Sunday during the day and all the way through Monday, with the title game ending at midnight on Monday. That is your Stupid Show Madness on Twitter.
Well done. All right, 55s to wrap up the show?
Yes.
All right. Shocker, there are a lot of NFL linebackers again who are worth considering for this list. That seems to be the theme here in the mid-50s. Just it's a linebacker number.
Yes.
So there are 2 particular ones at the top who, based on total career value, there are Hall of Famers. I think both of them should be heavily considered. We have Junior Seau and we have Derek Brooks as 2 Hall of Famers to wear number 55. What are your thoughts on those 2?
Yeah, I think both are very deserving, very, very earning of that. I believe Terrell Suggs would be another NFL guy, right?
Terrell Suggs from Balso Hard University is probably the next best. And then Lance Briggs was also 55, as was Joey Porter. So we're leaving and I think the honorable mention list, if we're looking at like Lance Briggs and Joey Porter and Willie McGinnis, like that's a loaded honorable mention. But I would say Seau and Brooks right now, and then Terrell Suggs has a very good chance, but we kind of have to bounce around and look at some other sports first.
Okay, we'll go those 2 in the NFL. I'm looking at NBA, and the one name I remember 55 is Dikembe Mutombo.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, not today. Mutombo, I think for sure. I was also his number at Georgetown, so yeah, I think Mutombo has a really, really good shot.
I feel he belongs. Other NBA guys, Dolph Shays, I don't think we need to do it. Wasn't Jason Williams White Chocolate? Wasn't he 55?
Oh,
I believe he was 55.
Yes, he absolutely was. White Chocolate. That's a great one.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to make this Mount Rushmore, though. I mean,
no.
You can't put him ahead of you can't put him ahead of those guys. And then, we haven't even talked baseball yet, where I think 2 names come to mind to me, and that would be 2 pitchers. Oral Hershiser was 55.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim Lincecum was 55.
Yeah, the franchise.
So okay. So we go Junior Seau, We go Derek Brooks. We go Dikembe Mutombo. No issues there, right?
Yeah, I think I'm good with all three of them.
So then I think your decision comes down to Tim Lincecum or Earl Hershiser.
Yes, and we haven't even considered hockey yet either. And I was talking with Dan about this a little bit earlier. I know he mentioned Sergei Gonchar. Was Chris Letang 55? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, I don't know if Sergei Gonchar is on the Rushmore. Mark Scheifele
My
is a
buddy
good
Colton Parayko.
good play. Oh, Colton Parayko, Nicholas Cronwall. Oh, it might have to be Oral Hershiser, right?
Yeah. Hershiser over Lincecum for me.
Yeah. Well, because Lincecum, 2 Cy Youngs, but only played 10 years.
Yeah.
Did not have a long career.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm comfortable with this Mount Rushmore of Junior Seau, Derek Brooks, Dikembe Mutombo, and Oral Hershiser. And we leave off guys like Terrell Suggs. We leave off Tim Lincecum. We
Lance
leave off
Briggs.
White Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Porter. So
Lance Briggs, Nicholas Cronwall. Yeah.
Hideki Matsui was 55 as well.
Was he?
He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. His 9 years. Did Hideki Matsui really only play 9 years in Major League Baseball?
Yes, but didn't Jorge Posada wear 55?
No, rookie year he did.
Okay, so he started at 55. All right, but anyways, no, that's a pretty good Mount Rushmore. And I don't have I told you that I am actually going to the Real Rock Rushmore in June?
Are you really?
I am. Never been there. We are heading out there in June. So I will make sure to take plenty of pictures and we can Photoshop the names. Yeah, I am. I'll be there in June.
Put the names, yeah. Put the real faces on there of Derek Brooks and all those. I think that's a great idea. I don't want to dampen your spirits here, but I've been to Mount Rushmore. It's something that Jim and I, when I was doing the radio show with Jim Matson here, where we talked about it a lot because we had both been to Mount Rushmore. Temper your expectations a little bit. It's cool. It's cool, but the view that you're going to be seeing it from, it's not going to be as large as you think it is, just based on how you see it, portrayed elsewhere. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm good with that take because I'm not overly excited as others. As of right now, all 5 of us are going. My whole family's going. I think they're maybe a little more excited than I am. They may be disappointed as well. We'll see Mount Rushmore for 5 minutes and then probably go jump in the pool or something. So yeah, I'm not overly excited, but it is another place I haven't been. So check it off the list and move on.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see it. You get to say, I was there. And there's a whole sort of lead up. There's a museum. There's learn about how it was built. That whole story is great. It's great. You'll enjoy it. I'm just saying, I think I had this vision, and a lot of people do, of it being so huge. But from where you're going to see it from, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
That's all. Not to dampen any more spirits, but that's my Rushmore take.
But I will report back after we're done. But that is episode 55 of the show right there, baby.
Good show, man. Good show. Fun. I had fun. You had fun. Our listeners had fun. We got a lot of interaction. Thanks to everyone who joined us on this Friday morning before work. Reminder, as Rodney just put up, you could sign up for his Substack, Stupid Sports Show. He is giving out winners every single day. If you are actively costing yourself and your family and your future children money by not following and tailing his free picks on Substack. So make sure to sign up there. And also follow the show on Twitter at Stupid Sports Show, no W on Twitter for tweets during the week. You'll get notifications for when we go live. And finally, anywhere you get your podcasts, we're available. Spotify, Apple, iHeart, all 55 episodes. This one included shortly after we sign off here will be available on demand wherever you get your podcasts. So give us a like, a review, a rating, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. You know how it goes. you enjoy the weekend too, Dan. Appreciate you tuning in. And Rodney, good luck. Good luck today, conquering the day this Friday, this weekend. And we'll do it again Tuesday. We've got a lot to catch up on Tuesday. It'll be post-national championship.
Yep.
It will be pre-Masters.
Yep.
Maybe some more MLB stuff. So, yeah, lots to get to for episode 56 coming up in a few days here. So, any last thoughts? Or are you ready to get out of here?
Go Cougars. Go Cougs this weekend. Looking forward to college basketball game. I can miss the first one. I could skip Florida Auburn. I'd love to see Houston Duke. I think that's the one I really want to see. That's the one I probably will make sure I am ready for. Kids will be getting ready to bed about that time. I don't know, 8:00. They'll stay up first half or so. But then, yes, Houston Duke. And I hope it's a good game. I hope we see two competitive games would be nice.
I agree. Especially like after just this whole tournament, I want to see some thrilling finishes and just great teams being great and it coming down to the wire. That's all I could ask for. So for Rodney Newpel, this is Tim Kung Fu Panda Van Stratton signing off. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. This has been the stupidest sports show on earth. See you guys.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.